What day it is? It's Tuesday, and apparently that means we do book tags.
And tacos.
We already had tacos.
We had tacos out of order. Damn. Well, back book tag then.
Maybe we'll order tacos.
No.
Yeah, I don't want tacos. I don't feel good. All right. So, we're doing the Rhythm of Pages book tag, which I saw like 55 years ago. Okay, not really, but like a long time ago on this, I think it's This Reading Life by MJ. I'm probably messing it up. But anyway, I saw it on her page, and I've had it, and I keep thinking I'm going to do it. But there's a lot of music questions on this, and I'm dumb when it comes to music, as we saw with the last one. And so I have some answers, but Sir Chonk's going to do way better at this. And there's less book and more music questions, so I figure he'll be able to help more. So he has no idea what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can help. I literally don't know what the questions are going to be.
So here we go. Let's watch Sir Chonk not know anything. But I'll answer first, so he'll have time to plan an answer.
Okay.
All right, so number one is a book about rock music. So this was pretty limiting because there aren't that many, and I was like, I could do Old Boys, but I've talked about that in like 5 videos this year so far. So I'm going with High Fidelity because that's the only other book I can think of that has music in it, by Nick Hornby. I actually haven't read the book. I've seen the movie, which isn't great. Although I hear it's a pretty good adaptation, except for the fact that it's, I think, got like moved to Chicago from London or whatever, like they do with all of Nick Hornby's books. They move them to the U.S. But I love that movie, so hopefully it's the same as the book. But it's about music, because it's about his, like, love of music and how he, like, connects, like, music to all the relationships he's had in the past. Definitely get, like, that feel. I think, like, the concept is great. The movie's really good. I haven't read the book.
Stop talking.
I'm trying to fill time so you can answer.
Okay, my answer's going to be bad also, but you didn't read a book about this. I'm going to go with, because in the last 30 seconds, the only book I can think of that contains an instrument is Revival by Stephen King, because one of the main characters is like a guitarist dude who like used to be in a band, and he like sort of goes to like he goes to like circuses or something and like plays the guitar. I kind of forget, but it's not like a huge part of the book, but it's a big part of his character. It does come into play here and there in the plot, the old music. I'm sure there's some other books I read with rock music in it, but I can't think of a single one besides that, so that's my pick.
Okay, so we're moving away from books now. Now we're going into number 2, An Amazing Drummer. And I, as we've covered before, know nothing about who plays what or what's going on in music. I'm very much a lyrics and like sound, general sound and feel kind of person when it comes to music. So I don't like sit there and go, ooh, that's some impressive drumming by Bill or whoever the hell's on the drums.
Good.
However, I am going to name the drummer from Rasputina. Because Rasputina, if you're not aware, and you should be aware, so if you're not aware, you need to like stop, pause, go on YouTube, find some Rasputina videos, listen to them, then come back to this. But Rasputina is this rock cello band, very, very heavy cello band. And it's some girls on the cello, and they wear like Victorian sort of garb.
Their bridal dress.
Yeah, they're like, it's wacky as hell. It's like gothic / like Victorian nonsense. Really hard, I can't say hard music. It's not hard rock, it's hard
3
celling.
cellos and a drum.
Yeah. So, or 2 cellos. A lot of times it's,
well, 3 cellos?
Now it's 2 in this picture.
I think there were 3 of them before.
There used to be 3. I don't know the whole story. I don't know. Maybe somebody died. I don't know.
Oh, no, I hope Raspu or Tina didn't die.
But anyway, the drummer is completely random. So, like, he doesn't dress obviously in the Victorian garb. And he's just, like, he has this crazy mustache and this big hair. And he would just go to town on the drums.
The guy looks just like a humanoid version of Animal from the Muppets.
Yeah, and that's what I listed Animal in my last version. So that's my drummer. The guy whose name I don't know, who may or may not still be with Rasputina, who may or may not still be a band. Mm-hmm. That guy.
Hopefully all of them are healthy. But the guy looked like Animal. Anyway, my favorite drummer, not exactly an off-the-grid pick here, but I gotta go with Neil Peart from Rush. Gotta be one of, if not the greatest drummers of all time. Just the insane amount of things that he does on the drum. And if you ever seen this guy's drum kit, it's out of control. You guys see the Freaks and Geeks show where like the guy has the drum kit and it's like idiotic because he's like so much crap he can't possibly use. Neil Peart is like that, but worse. But he also uses all the stuff. It's insane. Listen to like Limelight or Tom Sawyer or anything. The guy is awesome on the drums.
I like Rush.
Thanks for your contribution.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Neil Peart also deceased, unfortunately.
He is?
Yeah, he died like a couple years ago, I believe. Yeah. If he's not
It's a
dead,
good thing.
I apologize.
It's a good thing I don't think he's dead.
I believe he is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I know he was kind of sick, and I think they were doing like a
he
farewell
died in
tour.
2020.
Yeah, fairly recently.
Oh,
so,
it's a good thing we saw them before they died.
Yep. Anyway, so rest in peace to one of the greatest drummers of all time.
I will say it was really funny when we went to see them because I bought tickets like really in the wee hours of the morning, spending money willy-nilly like I do. And I went to Sir Chonk. I was like, wake up, I have exciting news. And it was like, it's like 7 in the morning on a Saturday. What could you possibly have to tell me? And I was like, I bought tickets for us to see Rush. And he's like, Rush is dead. And then he went back to sleep.
Yes.
And then when he woke up later, I was like, no, really, we're going to see Rush. And we went to see Rush. And they weren't dead. And apparently now they are. So that's
only one of them.
Well, so we know.
Unless some news has hit recently that I didn't hear of.
All right. So number 3 is a great guitarist. So I am going to go with, I'm really into like, the types of music I mostly listen to are singer-songwriters and like punk and alternative. So again, not always like that involved with like the musical stuff, but this is somebody I know can play the guitar really well. And this is Ani Difranco. Because she is super cool. Her music is good, her lyrics are good, her like vibe is just good because she's angry and like badass and everything else. And also she plays the guitar really good. And I know that because there are times when she's playing her songs and then she plays the guitar for a while. And it's good. So that's how I know.
So you're saying she's good because during her songs she plays the guitar?
Well, no, but like while she stops singing, she'll then play the guitar. And people seem impressed by that.
Well, she loves that like just really basic, hard-hitting, like bucket to bounce kind of thing on the guitar.
Yeah, but also I love Ani Difranco, so I just needed a way to tell you how Ani Difranco is amazing.
I thought you were, I don't know his name, but I thought you were going to go with the guy from Dinosaur Jr.
Oh, I do like him, but he's isn't he a bassist?
The guitarist from Dinosaur Jr. is a guitarist. I don't remember his name, but the guy who plays guitar on Dinosaur Jr. is awesome. But that's not my pick.
Oh my God, he is old now.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you were in a band 30 years ago.
I just looked him up, and he's like, look at him, look how old he is.
What if he watches this video and he's going to be all sad now that you're like crapping all over him?
Well, he's our age. Okay, he's a little older than us. But man, we're old.
Yes, I know. Leave the poor guy alone.
Okay, so this is not healthy for me because, like, Dinosaur Jr. was, like, one of my favorite bands growing up. And, like, in my mind, they still are, like, this skate punk band. And they're walking around, like, doing the skate punk thing. And, like, this guy's wearing a Cookie Monster shirt, guys.
That's awesome, actually.
No, it is awesome. But I'm putting him in the video. He's getting a picture.
You know he's not on the, he didn't make the list, but he gets a picture.
Yeah, he's getting a picture because I'm like, look, we're old now. It's so sad. I don't like it. Anyway, so.
Yeah, that guy's really good.
Yeah, he is really good, but I just didn't. I said Ani because I wanted to talk about Ani Difranco.
You never have a good sense of time. You still think like Cecil Fielder plays baseball.
Yeah.
After his son has already started playing and then retired like years and years ago. Anyway, I have a lot of guitarists that I like. I guess I'm going to go with, maybe he's the flashiest, not necessarily, I mean, he's pretty darn good. I'm going with Joe Satriani, who is most famous for songs without lyrics. It's sort of like the guitar is essentially like the lead, and although there aren't lyrics, it sounds a little bit like there's lyrics on all the songs. So check out Joe Satriani. He has a ton of different things, very, very various, like different types of moods and styles. Some songs he just is like, I have the fastest fingers in the West, and he just like shows off just in like saying fretboard work. But then a lot of the times he just plays like these really beautiful, like sort of like notes and stuff. He's awesome. When he does sing, he can't sing for crap, so ignore the 2 or 3 songs he sings on are awful. But everything else is beautiful. Joe Satriani.
Okay, so this is a fun one. This is your favorite song or songs, and there's no way there's zero chance I could do this. So what I did instead is at the moment of time when I was getting pictures together, I picked 3 songs and 3 musicians. And out of the 3 musicians, not songs by those, so that we could have a pretty broad variety. Because if you ask me at any moment in time, I am going to list probably 20 different songs or bands or musicians. Probably these 3 musicians, I guarantee you, will end up every time on my list. And then these 3 songs will mostly show up on the list. But then there'll be like a variety. Like I didn't put Crocodile Rock by Elton John, and I absolutely love that song. And that's not on here, which is like really disappointing. But also like I only had 3.
That song's like the hokiest song.
I love that song. Shut up. So the 3 songs I picked are Obstacles by Sid Matters. But this is actually a picture of the Sid Matters album. But Obstacles, beautiful song. I will link it. You need to listen to it. It's amazing. Joy to the World by Three Dog Night. And no, not the Christmas song. The one about the bullfrog. Jeremiah being the bullfrog. That song. Awesome song. But every time I tell people it's one of my favorite songs of all time, people think I'm just super into Christmas music.
What I recall about that frog is that he pretty much always had some mighty fine wine.
He really did. He had mighty fine wine. Absolutely. That's a great song. I don't care. It's amazing. And then Jesus of Suburbia by Green Day, which is like 15,000 hours long and also amazing. And it's like 5 different songs in one song.
Like 4 different songs.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I mean, it's multiple songs in this one song, and it's just so impressive. And I mean, if you're like into music, like, it's hard not to just be impressed by like how good every song is and how there are multiple styles of song all in one big song. Anyway, but then I say that, and then I'm like, oh, but what about Heart-Shaped Box? And I love that song. And what about, and so that's just the problem. But anyway, my 3 favorite artists are Tori Amos, who is going to be on every list for the dawn of since the dawn of time and for the rest of time. Darrell Williams, also on pretty much every list, even though she's on mine and like 3 other people's lists. But if you don't know who Darrell Williams is, go find her. And Richard Shindell, who I think even less people might know. And now he's like retired and like hanging out in Argentina, like raising yaks or something. I don't know.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. He struck me as a yak raising type of guy.
Yeah, he's super great, though. Like, so if you haven't heard Richard Shindell, he's like folk singer-songwriter, but he kind of, his voice reminds me a lot of Michael Stipes. Oh, R.E.M., I love them, too. So, yeah. Endless amounts of songs.
So what was this actual question?
Your favorite songs.
Songs or song?
Songs.
You're supposed to list songs?
I said 3, so that's why I did 3.
Or did it just ask for one song?
It said song or songs.
Oh. Well, this is the kind of thing that would normally take me like 70 to 80 hours of effort to put together. So I'm just going to say one band and one song, and they're different people. Okay. I'm going to go with, for the song, Green Fields of France. I believe
I love that song.
The originator of the song, I believe, is Eric Bogle. But it's been covered a cajillion times. Is
that the one that's covered by the Coming Down to Boston band?
Yes.
Dropkick
Murphys. And their cover is actually really
is
really good of that. Yeah. That's a great cover of it. But if you go to the YouTubes, you find dozens and dozens.
You're already on the YouTube. Look at
covers of it, right? So check out the song. Awesome lyrics. Beautiful song. Yeah. And my favorite band is probably Sugar, which is fronted by Bob Mould, who's a bald guy who plays like every instrument in the world. Yeah, it's just sort of like lo-fi, like rock stuff, but it's awesome. So, Sugar's
pretty good.
No, they're awesome. You're confused. Just because they're not like a sad girl sitting on a stool playing 3 chords.
Richard Shindell is not a girl.
He's a sad boy sitting on a stool playing 3 chords.
Is not a girl.
He doesn't matters.
Three Dog Night, not a girl.
They're dead.
Elton John, not a girl. I don't have Elton. I mean, Three Dog Night is dead.
I mean, you're more like Dar and like Tori and all these people. Like, I like Tori.
I will admit, I have a thing for sad girl music.
Ani's another one. She's more angry than sad, but.
I mean, that's my favorite kind of book. It's my favorite kind of music. If it's about a sad girl, I'm pretty much sign me up. Movies, anything about sad girls. That's my jam.
Mm-hmm. My jam's Grape.
All right, number 5 is Best Metal Band. So, as you can tell by my musical taste, I am not a metal person. I don't like metal bands. I don't like a lot of hard rock. I don't like classic rock usually. I mean, I guess a little bit like Pink Floyd, but they're not really metal at all. So the closest I could get to like what would be a metal band, I do like punk, but I don't think punk is really close to metal. So the closest thing I could think of, I was like, okay, to me metal is like super loud, aggressive guitars, like just raging kind of music. So for mine, and it's industrial, so I guess it's close, is Ministry. which is a very strange thing that I like, because if you look at my large interests of music, they do cover a lot of places. I like all kinds of weird stuff, but I'll be like listening to Tori and like the sad girl like compilations that I've put together, and then I'm like, I think now I will listen to Stigmata by Ministry and get very sad and angry. And so it's kind of funny because I sound like a cartoon. I listen to a lot of music by girls who kind of sound like cartoons, and then I randomly am like, no, I will scream about the world. So Ministry, I guess, is that metal?
Yes.
Okay.
But what you're forgetting is there's a whole side group of metal called hair metal.
Yeah, I don't like that. You do.
Well, I do.
I know.
Let me tell you, YouTube folks, I could go on about bad hair metal bands for quite some time. What's my favorite? I don't even know. Is it Van Halen? Is it Poison?
Poison's good.
I think what I'm going to go with, just because they're a little more like classic, a little more well-known, even though I don't know if they're necessarily my favorite hair metal band. I'm going to go with Bon Jovi. Because they have a lot of songs. They have a lot of songs that I really like.
the calmest of all those bands.
Well, Poison's pretty relaxed.
I love Poison.
I like I said, I don't know if I could officially declare. Again, this is another thing that would take me like at least an hour to like analyze and debate before I could actually come up with it. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go with Bon Jovi as my top hair metal band, because they have what I would consider the seminal 80s tune, Living on a Prayer.
Bon Jovi's son is engaged to the girl who plays Eleven from Stranger Things, for anyone who wanted to know that.
Bon Schmovi?
No, his name's like John Bon Jovi Jr.
So he's still Bon Jovi then? You mean John Bon Jovi's son?
Yeah.
Bon Jovi's a band.
Okay, well, John Bon
So
Jovi's
the son of Bon Jovi would have to be
John
like
Bon
an
Jovi, I
album.
believe.
That's a shame.
And he looks a lot like him, actually.
Well, good on him.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, but they're so young. I'm like, if you know, you know.
I mean, eventually they get old. That's how what happens.
Yeah, and then they become like the guy from Dinosaur
Right.
Jr., and then someone's
Yeah,
like,
and
what if he
eventually,
had
like,
waited to get
you're
married?
like, wait, what's this? 11, 62 years old? Yeah, that's going to happen at some point, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we won't be here for it.
Oh, I'll be long dead for that. But
All right.
some will be around.
So we have now this one I don't really understand the question.
Great.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, no. All right, so this is the rock song that gets you going. And I didn't know if it meant, like, gets you going, like, you know, motivates you, and you're like, I'm going to fight at the system. I'm going to head out on the town. I'm going to do all the things. I'm going to sweep. You know, that kind of gets you going. Or it, like, gets you going, and you're like, ooh, yeah, get me going. So, I had two songs, because I was, like, not sure which one they meant. Now that we're all going to share this personal bit of information that you all really didn't need to know. So the one that gets me going, like head out on the town, that motivates me, is, like everybody else on the planet, is Eye of the Tiger.
That's a good song.
Because who doesn't hear Eye of the Tiger and be like, I'm going to do it all.
Time to start boxing.
I am going to do everything. I am going to... And then the song ends, and then I go back to, like, listening to, like, Tori, and I'm like, I'm going to do everything, and I'm going to run, and I'm going to go on a jog, and then I've, like, just put my pants on, and then Tori comes on, I'm like, I'm going to go for a nap. So.
That's the meanie.
Right. So that's my gets you going in the motivational way. And then for the other version of gets me going, I mean, I'm going to have to go Closer by Nine Inch Nails, which is now apparently has to be called Closer to God, but it was Closer all the time.
Alexa, play Closer by Nine Inch Nails.
No, don't do that. Well, that was awkward. We didn't pause because of anything interesting.
Right.
We just paused because I was confused because I was trying to get Alexa to turn off.
Right.
So
Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of songs that would fit the energizing kind of thing for me. I guess I'm gonna go with "Edge of a Broken Heart" by Vixen.
That's
that
a girl
is
band.
Yeah, but it's a high energy tune that makes you want to start like chewing on glass and like punching people named Montgomery in the neck.
Oh,
That's the
well,
kind of
I
thing that
don't really
happens.
want to do that every day, but
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, great energy. Like it's kind of thing that like it's good if you're like. Back when I used to exercise, now I'm just a slowly dying ball of fat. But before, when I used to exercise, that'd be a great song to have come on. Because then you're like, I have renewed vigor. So yeah, Edge of a Broken Heart by Vixen.
what about the other one?
The song that gets me all horned up is definitely Kung Fu Fighting.
And anyway, now that we've all learned something very strange about you, which is not true, but
I mean, fast as lightning.
Why would that be sexy?
A little bit frightening?
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Anyway. All right, so I have 2 answers for the following, mostly because my first answer is really embarrassing. So number 7 is your first concert. So the band and singer and the year. And now we're all going to know how old I am. Because my first concert, and let's all be ashamed of me, was, I think, my sophomore year of high school. And it was Michael W. Smith. So that was like 92, 93. And it was Michael W. Smith, the Christian singer. Because I was not allowed to go to concerts. And so I was not allowed to do anything when I was growing up. But I was allowed to do things with my church youth group. And so I went to Michael W. Smith. And then at one point, and then I started going to and then I joined a super Christian cult for a while. I was born again Christian for 5 weeks. Okay, it was a little longer than that. Too long, but not long enough, I guess, to count myself as...
Days.
Yeah, so that was my whole thing. I was very... I gotta be honest.
I don't think they want your whole bio about how you were a lunatic.
I could have joined any cult. I was such a, easy...
Very open to being in cults.
I was very open to being in cults when I was a sophomore in high school. I think, you could have signed me up for anything. But yeah, so for a temporary period of time, I was, into, a born-again cult thing. And then I went to, a bunch of, I went to see the Newsboys, and I went to see some other, Christian bands.
The Newsboys?
Yes, it's an Australian Christian band, for the record.
That's embarrassing.
They're not that bad. But the point is, the only concerts I was allowed to go to were with my church youth groups. My normal Catholic church youth group, and then my, creepy cult church youth group. And then once I stopped going to youth groups, I was not allowed to go to concerts. So for my junior and senior years of high school, I kept wanting to go to concerts, and all my friends would go to concerts. And I was actually, that's not 100% true, I was given money, my confirmation money, I was allowed to spend to buy tickets to see The Cure with my best friend during my freshman year of high school. But then she used my money because they didn't have enough to pay, the Ticketmaster fees. So she and her friend, who didn't like me, they used my money to pay the difference in fees and then paid me back, but didn't get me a ticket, so they went to see The Cure. So I didn't see The Cure till college.
Why did you let that happen?
They went without me because I wasn't allowed to go stand in line.
Why did you give them money?
Because they were going to get me a ticket.
They didn't, so why didn't you punch them in the neck and take your ticket?
Well, I couldn't because they only bought 2 tickets instead of 3.
Yeah, so you punch one of them and take your ticket.
Well, anyway, I'm still friends with her, so I'm not friends with the other girl.
She's a terrible person.
No, it's not. She's not. She's my best friend.
They really didn't buy you a ticket. I would have shanked him.
It was a long drama of high school. So
what
anyway,
the hell?
Yeah, so I didn't see The Cure for forever, and then I finally got to see them in college and was very excited because I was supposed to see them, and that was the only concert I would have been allowed to go to. And then I didn't get to go.
They stole your money.
No, they gave it back, but I just couldn't go to the concert. No, I wasn't okay with it, but it's
what the hell?
It's a whole story. I thought you knew this.
No.
Anyway, now that everyone knows literally my entire life.
This is such a tangent. This video is going to be an hour long because you're just rambling about nonsense.
But anyway, so the first concert that I went to, that I chose to go to, that was I was allowed to go to, was the day after my high school graduation. And it was the WBCN, the first River Rave in 1995. And here's a picture of the t-shirt from the BCN River Rave. And that's it. I graduated from high school in 95, so you can do the math. And I'm old. And the bands playing were... Yeah, I don't remember. But I know Better Than Ezra was there. Yeah. But what's exciting about that concert...
didn't get to go.
Well, the most exciting part of that concert was that from the concert, it was at the Hat Shell in Boston. On, the river... What's it called there?
The Harbor Lights?
No, the Hat Shell. What's the Hat Shell called?
It's called the Hat Shell.
The name, there's a park, though.
Oh, I don't remember. I know what
River Walk or something. I don't know. Which is why it was called the River Rave. Yeah. And then eventually, ended up in, the middle of nowhere near a river. And people are why is it still called the River Rave? But that's because it was originally on the river, on the Charles River. Anyway.
Even the guy who invented the River Rave doesn't want to hear this much about it.
But the most exciting part of the River Rave, and for those of you who will recognize this, and none of you will, is that we left the Hat Shell because it was super crowded and we were listening to music, but we wanted to walk around. And then some guy was trying to convert us to Christianity and giving us all these church flyers.
Because you're a cult target.
Yeah, see, I am. I just apparently people see me and go, that person wants to be in a cult. And so we were walking and there was this just girl sitting under the what is it, the Ted Williams walking bridge or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
They're under this bridge, and she's just like sitting there, this like small blonde girl, playing her guitar.
Mary Lou Lord, right?
Yeah, and so this turned out to be Mary Lou Lord, which none of you know, because nobody knows who Mary Lou Lord is, because like 7 people do. I think she dated Kurt Cobain at one point, so if that means anything to you. But anyway, she was just playing under this bridge, and it was so exciting, and so we watched like most of her show and left the concert and went to like her show, and then I became obsessed, and that summer, my friends and I went to like a 90 billion concerts. We went to a concert like every night that summer after I graduated from high school. And most of them were Mary Lou Lord concerts. And when we weren't going to Mary Lou Lord, we were listening to her on the way. And at the time, she had a 4-song EP out. So, as you can imagine, my friends who were not as obsessed with Mary Lou Lord as I was were like, she has 4 songs. Can we listen to something else? But my friend Christine and I were like, no, we cannot. And my friends Dave and Justin were like, we are so sick of Mary Lou Lord. But anyway, what was your favorite concert? First concert?
Been 82 long years. Like, this is why your videos are so long.
What was your first concert?
You just talked for like 13 minutes about nothing.
I was talking about how I discovered Mary Lou Lord under a bridge.
No one is still listening to this. They've all left.
They might, because it's funny.
No, they all went away. They're like, what happened?
It's an interesting story.
First to you. It's not interesting to other people.
What was your first concert?
Okay. My first concert was, as previously briefly mentioned, Poison. Tesla opened for Poison. I didn't like Tesla that much, but I was a big fan of Poison, so I was excited when they came to our nearby venue, and I got to go. It was pretty cool. The only downside was, I don't know, what am I going to say? I forget how old I was, 6th grade, 7th grade. So we didn't have a lot of cash, and I didn't have a way to get anywhere on my own. And your mom
took you to the
my
concert,
mom got these special like seats from her work, 2 tickets, and so she went with. So my first concert, I went with my mom, which is kind of embarrassing when you realize that like other people in my grade were like also at that concert, and I'm like walking in and I'm seeing people, and I'm like with my mom, and I'm like, here I am at my first rock concert with my mom.
Well, my first concerts were Christian music.
So I still win. I'm still not as dorky as you.
Mine's more embarrassing, so therefore you win as being cooler than me.
Yeah.
Even if you had to go with your mom, at least you were allowed to go to actual concerts.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So number 8 is an underrated singer-songwriter. And I'm going to say Dar Williams. Also Mary Lou Lord, because now that I'm thinking about it, you should listen to both of them.
Okay. We're underrated songwriter?
Singer-songwriter.
Oh, okay. Well, I already mentioned Sugar and Bob Mould, so that would fit here, but I'm not going to use them again. Instead, I'm going to go for the tour de force that is Ninja Sex Party. An incredibly skilled duo that does a lot of covers, but also writes a tremendous amount of very entertaining original songs, some of which are wildly inappropriate, but some of which are not. And they do a nice job of balancing really good music with really weird, interesting, fun lyrics. Yeah, go check out Ninja Sex Party. They're awesome.
Underrated and singer-songwriter, they're neither of those things.
They're underrated and they're singer-songwriters. What are you talking about? They
like,
play music, they write music.
Fine.
And they're not that popular.
I always think singer-songwriter is like a person with a guitar.
He plays the guitar.
Yeah, and other instruments.
Yeah, he plays a lot of instruments. He writes songs and he sings. That's a singer-songwriter. It doesn't. Every singer-songwriter is not some sad old person or like undersized girl on a bench playing their broken 6-string.
There's a song by Mary Lou Lord called His Indie World, and it's kind of relevant, sort of.
I can't afford a string replacement, so I don't get to use the key of D.
Anyway, and number 9 is favorite new to you song. And so this is not new at all, and not even that new to me. But I really was like, the thing is, I don't listen to music anymore unless it's in like a movie or a video game. That's the only way I hear music, unless somebody like random is like, listen to this song. But I very rarely have people tell me to listen to the songs. And so most music, unless it's in like, or sometimes a commercial, unless it's in something else that I've like been exposed to, I'm not hearing new music because I don't go to concerts anymore, and like basically I just live in the 90s. So my favorite new to me song is Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift.
Well, now what the hell am I gonna pick? That was probably gonna be mine, because I don't also have the same problem where, like, I don't think the only new music I hear is on SNL, and for that reason, I'm gonna stick with Taylor Swift. I'm gonna switch it up a tiny bit, and I'm gonna go with All Too Well, the extended version by Taylor Swift. I don't know if that's not too new of a song, but it's new enough for my situation. That's what I'm going with. Okay.
Okay.
So we both went with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, you
What
know,
are you gonna do?
she's Taylor Swift. She's
I was
amazing.
gonna go with that same song that you used.
It's
and
a
then I was
good
like,
song.
Yeah, but also it's like the only new song I've heard in like 20 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. We have that problem.
Oh, I could have done. What's that other one with the small person? Oh, driver's license.
Yeah, that's like
That's
5
like 6
years old.
years old at this
Yeah.
point.
Anyway.
If it's on SNL, I know it. If it's not, I don't know.
Right, that's where I'm at. All right, so thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll come back with another book tag at some point. And also, we both have like more of our best books of all time lists. So this wasn't really about books. But now you know.
You know
and
too
knowing
much.
is half the battle.
G.I. Joe, beep-a-doop-a-doop-ba-ba, blibba-da-jib-da-doop.
Bye.